Let's get down to San Diego and let's talk Mission Bay and San Diego Bay fly fishing, or just the whole area down there in San Diego. I'm with Tyler Vanisdell. He is the owner of Mission Bay Fly Fishing down in that area. He is our guy, all things SoCal and saltwater in the area. So how you doing, Tyler?
I'm doing good, Rick. How you doing, buddy?
Perfect. Everything is going great. We're definitely in the middle of the summer heat now, and just everything is kind of coalescing into a peak. We've talked about how busy everybody is and how things are going, but it's a lot of fun. Tell me what's going on. What's the action down there in your area, fly fishing saltwater?
Right now, things are really great, to be honest with you. Things are really, really great. So I know for those of you who might have seen some of the other talks we've talked about as far as reports we've given for the area, like water temperature is a big thing. It was interesting, since the last time we talked, we had a nice southern swell that came in that gave us some really big waves that made a lot of the surfers here like super excited. There were huge waves that came in. And what I was really hoping when that system came in, it was going to bring in a lot of warm water, but it was interesting. It really brought in a lot of cold water. So there was a span of like about a week, I'd say, about give or take a few days, that the water really cooled off quite a bit. It took it actually under 70 degrees and probably made it around close to about 66, 67 degrees. So it kind of snapped the bite there for a little bit. So it was kind of an opposite of what we were really expecting. But again, the surfers were extremely stoked. Fly fishing folks were not as stoked. But that's okay, because it definitely kind of tempered. It went down. That energy system slowly but surely like started to settle. And now we're getting into another system of like nice warm weather. I've walked in the bay quite a few times, obviously, since the last time we talked. The water's beautiful. It's a great time to wet wade right now. So fishing is there. Spotted bay bass, croaker are definitely hitting right now. As far as San Diego County is concerned, we're still getting enough energy from the wave systems, from our swell systems, that it's been a little difficult here and there to really like pound the surf, like really try to concentrate and really look for Corbina on the surf down there. So they're definitely there. They're definitely being caught, but it's going to take some effort to really try to put it together. I'm really, really hoping that energy is going to settle a little bit, and then we can really start to actually physically see Corbina and actually see some better structure in the water down the line.
So when you're talking about that Corbina, you're talking more the beaches then, as opposed to the bay side.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yep,
so
exactly.
Let's just to kind of back up. So what we've got is you had a big up swell there with and the water temperature, like you said, interestingly kind of came down a little bit, but now coming back up again. But but those waves and that swell, it's funny, surfers and fly fishermen are sort of on the opposite extremes of what they're excited about, but that swell is kind of hammering those beaches, so it's a little bit more difficult on the beach side for looking at Corbina. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100% correct. Yeah, and that's the nice thing about here in San Diego too. And I've met a lot of different people, and I haven't traveled the world like greatly or anything. I've been around a little bit, but the one thing I've noticed is like the accessibility we have with Mission Bay is really great. So like, you can show up any day of the week, no matter what the temperature is, and you can get into a good spot to try to catch some fish. So that's a nice thing. So if the surf is really pounding, if we have a pretty big swell system coming in, we can just ditch that altogether and just go out to Mission Bay or San Diego Bay. But Mission Bay particularly is the accessibility is just through the roof. So it's nice to have that.
Okay, so right now, if you kind of pinpointed today, it would be, hey, we got you're looking more success rate would be much more a little bit better in Mission Bay than on the beaches or San Diego Bay, but particularly Mission Bay because of the accessibility. And then what do you look for then, and how are you watching to say, oh, okay, this might change over, that might be something that somebody would say, hey, this is time to go maybe hit that beach and hit that surf, that potentially would be, targeting Corbina or targeting the other species on the beaches versus the bay. What kind of indicators are you looking for?
So one piece of advice I'd give to anybody is if you're looking to follow the surf or the swell, and I call it energy, how that energy is pushing, you really have to like focus on like, using apps. I use Surfline is the big one that I use. I pay a premium to actually like look at forecasts, and not only that, when you pay for Surfline, and this is designed for surfers. But what I do is I use it, and when you pay the premium cost each month, they give you live video feeds. You can actually see what the beaches look like, which is great. So like if I could wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I could actually literally kind of even look at those videos to kind of see what that stuff looks like. And as far as answering your question specifically, I'm really looking for that surf report saying like the face of the waves is 1 to 2 foot. That's great to me. Those are great. Even if it says 0 to 1 foot, that's even better. So that energy is so low, it's barely able to just barely push any type of wave systems into it. But then once it starts reading like 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, we have a very substantial amount of energy that's really pushing in. And for any of you trout fishermen or anything like that, of course, there's plenty of trout fishermen, fly fishermen out there, and ladies out there too. What that basically means, a way that I could kind of like compare the two would be like, it's like the same idea of like the first runoff of a river that's come off. So it's basically just a blown out river. So it's just churning up so much sand. It's got so many bubbles in the system that those fish really don't have the ability to see. They're just using it off of feel. So they're using their mouth, using things, using that sector of feel to really kind of feed. So when the energy's low, when all that, everyone can see, we can see, I can see fish, I can see the structure so much better. So using, apps like Surfline, and there's a dozen other apps out there that you can find, and most of them are free, which is great, that we can get that information. But I want that low energy, 1 to 2 feet. Once we start talking 2 to 3, we're kind of pushing the line right there. And that's been in my experiences. That's for San Diego County. I can only speak for San Diego County.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, then again, you're talking the beaches on that 1 to 2 feet but what's nice about San Diego is, okay, so let's say that's the case. You're looking at, 2 or 3 to 5 and that kind of thing where it starts going up, and then just switch over to the bay, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's what's great about the bay. So it's just like, bummer. All right, we struck out. Like you and I went out today, and it's like, dude, sucks, bro. All right, let's go to the bay. Let's hammer the bay as much as we can. That's the nice thing about this territory. It's an urban fishery, and but it's a nice thing to have like in your back pocket always, because it's just like, let's go throw, and we'll just we're going to be tossing a bunch of flies out in the bay as best we can.
Tell me a little bit, just in specific. So a couple minutes we have left here is species wise. What are you seeing species wise, kind of in particular?
The number one species is always going to be spotted bay bass. That's number one. Number two is probably going to be halibut. And that's always a shocker for a lot of fly anglers. They just very not, accustomed to that. They're great fun, beautiful fish. We have 2 species of halibut here in San Diego. We have the Pacific halibut, and we have the California halibut. Over the years that I've been fishing, I've been able to, slowly but surely discern them just by looks. After that, we have croaker, and the croakers are the 3 species. I've mentioned it before. It's going to be yellowfin croaker, spotfin croaker, and corvina. But right now, I'd say spotted bay bass and halibut have been the winners overall, as far as like really overall catches here in the bays and in the beaches as well.
Okay, great. And then Tyler, if somebody wants to kind of get a picture of what's going on down there and doesn't have the app and doesn't have the things that you were talking about at the moment, is that somebody that can just pick up the phone and give you a call? Would you help them out in there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So just give me a call. Like, I'm wide open for information. It's not like I'm trying to hide any information. When it comes to this fishery, it's not like a river system where I'm trying to hide specific locations and things like that. Like the information and locations that I'm willing to offer to folks. You and I, like Rick, you and I could go and fish that at one spot today, and we could crush it. We go back to that same place, very similar conditions, almost exact conditions, and we don't catch anything. Mm-hmm. So this fishery is, you have to go out and find the fish. So it's just really about like local knowledge, but yes, offering information 100%. Please call.
Perfect.
Text. Yeah.
Awesome. And just go ahead and tell everybody how the best way to get a hold of you then.
So if you want to reach me, cell phone number one, that's a great cell, just give me a call or send me a text, 619-929-2013. My website is missionbayflyfishingco.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. So yeah, just check me out there. And if you have any questions or concerns on anything when you're coming down here, just hit me up. I'm happy to help. Seriously, I'm really happy to help.
That is great. What a great resource. Appreciate that. And that was Mission Bay Fly Fishing Co. So CO at the end, right?
There.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. All right. Perfect. Thanks a lot, Tyler. What a great report. And if anybody is in this, wants to get down to that area, what a great time of the year and cool off a little bit if you're up here in a little bit farther north and tired of the heat. And then I will also post and put Tyler's website in the post as well. But you got it there and you got his phone number. And you can also click the link in the post. And what a great resource, somebody that will offer and tell you what's going on down there if you don't have all the tools to be able to pick up what's going on with those swells, the temperatures and all that obviously make for a better fishing day if you know that information. And Tyler's somebody you can get that information from and is a fantastic resource. And then maybe take you out for a day or half a day and get some skills there as well. Build your skills on your saltwater fishing in the bay and the beaches down in the San Diego area. That was Tyler Vanisdale, Mission Bay Fly Fishing Company, giving us that report. Appreciate it. And we'll see you next time right here on the Backcast.